obviously heard of before, because he is not only a local legend, but a worldwide sensation, and that is one Larry Lurr.
The Lurr!
Mr. Larry Lurr, the CFO of Funky Fresh Beats.
Yeah, Glitch Gaming's own Larry Lurr coming in here and, you know, playing on the first match versus Abra, not a player I'm familiar with, but it looks like they are a Sora player here, and this is always interesting to see these first round of these top tier players versus, you know, someone who's not quite as well known. And this is possibly their first chance on a big stage like this, and we got to see if they're able to make something happen or if it's just going to be the expected result.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that there was probably a round 1 win to get to Larry Lurr. He might have had a bye into the second round, but if that's not the case, you know, you're still getting your first round on stream against a top level player, and Larry Lurr already starting off by showing exactly the kind of player that he is, because when you think of Larry, right, you're talking about a veteran who's been playing this game for longer than a decade, right? In the Smash community, he has fundamentals that you can learn from.
I mean, he has fundamentals that persist through Smash games, persist through decades, like you said. And yeah, this was actually, so I think because of the amount of players we had, I think we had almost an exactly perfect bracket. So there are very few round 1 buys. I think it was like almost exactly 5-12, which is, you know, that split, that's 2 to the power.
That's the perfection, yeah. Speaking of perfection right now, Larry Lurr playing as if perfection is his goal, has not gotten hit too many times in return by Abra, and I think mostly it's been down to the fact that, you know, I think that Abra is trying to find openings by just, you know, creating them, right? Being initiative, but Larry's got such solid defense that if you miss even a little bit, he immediately reverses that momentum. Yeah,
as you speak about a little bit of a miss, immediately a punish on a relatively not laggy move, and Larry was already positioning himself around any small missteps, and that's just like a testament to how skillful Larry is at just navigating through end lags of moves, even when they don't have a lot of them. You know, he figures out exactly the position to be in to end that game in a very short order.
I'm just amazed that the back end of that down smash killed all the way. Maybe Abra was still holding right on the tech away, trying to create some space from Larry right there. But well, we had 3 stock in that game 1. I do think that we saw a couple of good things from Abra in that game, though, right? There's that tech situation that ended that game, but there were a couple of times where I was like, okay, the spacing from Abra, when they take a moment to think, actually not all that bad. Didn't have an ability to be mindful of what Wolf's threat zone is, especially when he's standing still. You saw that charging forward smash, right? Got right out of the range of that and immediately got the counter hit. But the counter right now will be the counter pick to the Joker as we go to Smashville for game 2. Abra looking to get things started with another very solid character, but Larry also looking solid right out the gate.
Yeah, and that's a classic ledge trap situation there that Wolf loves to do. Short hop or full hop, mixes up the timing with that falling nair, and it catches pretty much every option depending on the timing. And whoa, did you see that double parry on the F tilt?
That is an auto parry on that forward tilt. If you parry the first hit, you will get the second one guaranteed, but that does open up the opportunity for Abra to have a little bit of extra time to react as well, figure out what the counter hit here is going to be. And what will the option be now that the Arsene is gone? Will you continue to try to apply that offensive pressure, or is it going to be the movement to try to bait Larry into an overextension?
Yeah, right now though, Larry seems solid, but it's still interesting how Abra's trying to. Oh, okay. Abra was, you know, coming back into the game a little bit, finding a little purchase, even though the Arsene was down. It's really nice to see how Jokers play without the Arsene, and I think that's the biggest test of a good Joker, if they can still make things happen. And it seems like Abra has stepped up their game a little bit from the previous one, because the last one it was just a little bit of a beating.
And I think to a degree, right, we saw pretty good spacing from them in that game 1, and that is really important to be playing an Arsene-less Joker, because you are difficult to punish as long as you space your moves properly. But I love this situation from Larry Lurr, setting up for the tech as the Arsene activates, so that once he starts things up again, you are now eating into that Arsene meter. A ton of it gone, but Abra does make use of it to take that first stock from Larry and get on the board. With the Arsene gone now, we are once again back to that vanilla Joker, though, so it'll be down to that spacing once again to get things started.
Yeah, we'll see if Abra's going to be able to find it. Oh, his way into the center, but a knife feed to the face is going to stop that, as Abra is quickly falling, but still, you know, maintaining a reasonable distance behind. I mean, I think every single time it seems like Abra's learning a little bit, but Larry Lurr is just a step ahead in every single one of these instances.
Now he started to catch on to that. Okay, like max spacing, right? If you do it every time, now Larry's just going to space right outside of that and try to go for a counter hit. Mindful of the Arsene activating. Again, doesn't continue the combo before it activates because one, you get that invincibility when it comes out, and two, he wants to make sure that he's eating into that meter. But a nice parry by Abra does get them back into the game with that up smash down air. Not going to set up for anything big though. Larry going a little bit too hard for that up B center stage, but will make his way back anyways.
Could be a kill. Oh! Unfortunate misstep. The forward tilt in the opposite direction must have been a snapback. And Abra had a chance there to get the stock, but Larry's going to take it away with a scoop and a whoop, and you're gone.
2-0 for Larry Lurr. I mean, there at the end just kind of caught on to the ways that Abra was approaching. I think that, you know, Joker does have a lot of very safe ways to do that, but Abra was pretty vehement most of the time in jumping in, using those very safe aerials. We saw a lot of full hops getting caught out. I mean, we saw it on the second stock, I believe, that got taken with a back air, and on this last one as well, right? Jumping